Like sports vibes. Thank you for vibing with me. Now, this is very interesting and very funny at the same time. Mike Zimmer is expressing his feelings about how the Minnesota Vikings left him hanging. It is funny to me, but I will not take disrespect from anybody when it comes to the mighty Minnesota Vikings. That is my team. It's Philly everything else besides football, and I will not tolerate the disrespect. I will not tolerate the disrespect. Mike Zimmer, he's saying that he's holding grudges, and when asked will he address the team, he said, H-E double hockey stick, no, they got me fired. I think that's funny. You got yourself fired too, man. What about the 38-7 game against the Eagles? How about that, Mike Zimmer? How about that performance? I understand that was a great season. That was absolutely a magical season. The Minneapolis Miracle with Case Keenum throwing the ball to Stephon Diggs brought back a lot of memories. But what about that NFC Championship game against the dang on Eagles? And I don't even want to bring it up. But facts are facts, right? I understand. We drove down the field. We had the first touchdown. It was 38-7. Let me say that again. 38-7. 38-7. 38-7. What about those 38 points, bro? We had one of the best defenses in the NFL. One of the most feared defense in the NFL. What happened, Mike Zimmer? It wasn't just all on Case Keenum in the offense, even though the offense was trash after the first touchdown. What happened, Mike Zimmer? You're telling me all season long the defense was on point. You're telling me all season long, and I'm not saying that Mike Zimmer, Coach Zimmer didn't take responsibility. I'm not saying that. But do not come at the Minnesota Vikings, man. Do not come at, but I respect but your opinion, but we're going to have to agree to disagree on some things. Now, look, I'm going to say this. You and Rick Spielman did not have a good relationship. Y'all wasn't on the same page. Y'all never was on the same page. Like, I don't understand how the GM and coach cannot, communicate well. Like, how is a team going to be successful in winning a dang on Super Bowl when your GM and your coach don't think alike? Y'all don't think alike at all when it comes to making draft picks, who y'all want as y'all quarterback. Y'all are just so disconnected from, each other's thinking process when it comes to winning. Y'all think differently. He's thinking offense, and Zimmer's just thinking defense. Let's just get some of the quotes. And I'm not going to say all the quotes, y'all. But I just thought that one quote when he said, when addressing the team, would you address the team? He said, heck no. They got me fired, but you was part of that, though. But listen, man, he said, I can tell you I've not watched a Minnesota Viking game since. That's all good. I don't care. We as Minnesota Viking fans don't care if you watch another game. And like I said, when you finally do play the Minnesota Vikings, which will be in the playoffs, if y'all make it to the playoffs, we're going to win. But he also said Spielman with 4 third-round picks. And this is where I definitely agree with Mike Zimmer. You just got to pick the best player sometimes, man. You can't just be overthinking things. He said he drafted Kellen Mond. As soon as he drafted Kellen Mond, Mike Zimmer said he walked out the dang on room and he left the dang on building. That's a bad relationship, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I got to say this. Now, I always forget to say this in the beginning of the video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that like button. We're going live for every single game this upcoming season. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a party. And we're going to win some games. We're going to lose some games. But at the end of the day, if you're a diehard Minnesota Viking fan, you're riding with the squad regardless of what happens. Skol to the bowl. Y'all know the vibes. But he walked out the building, y'all. What kind of relationship is that? And then he drafted, who else he drafted? He drafted Chaz Surratt. Wyatt Davis, and Patrick Jones II. He wasn't in for none of those picks besides the Kellen Mond. He walked out when he announced, I'm going to pick Kellen Mond. He walked out the building. And then the famous quote, I forgot what game it was, when he was like, I have seen enough. When someone asked him about Kellen Mond, he said, I've seen enough. I've seen enough. He didn't mean it in no disrespect. He was just being honest. He was just super honest. Sometimes you can't be too honest because people are too emotional. People get in their feelings. But if it's the truth, it's the truth, man. He has seen enough. And he was right. He was right. No disrespect. He was right. He was right on that. What else did he say? He said, oh, man. He said, Rick said, you mad at me. After he made the Kellen Mond pick, he said, Zimmer, and this is what Zimmer said, I think you took 4 backups. When we had guys there I thought were starters. This is the coach and the GM talking on draft day, y'all. How the heck was we going to win a Super Bowl with this? Like, just think about this. Like, I don't understand this relationship, bro. Like, this was bad. This was bad. They should have been into this relationship. You know what I mean? He said, all right, yeah. What else? He said, we're averaging, this is what Zimmer said. He said, we're averaging 10 wins a year playing really good defense with some of the quarterbacks that they had. And then he said, we weren't as they weren't as talented. He's talking about the quarterbacks. They weren't as talented as Kirk, which that's giving him some props. That's true. Kirk is he's a good quarterback. He's just not elite. And I always say that. He's talented. He's a good quarterback. He's just not elite. He's not clutch. That's just my opinion, y'all. But he also said, then we paid Kirk a lot of money and ended up having to get rid of some guys on the defense. Whatever, man. And weren't able to get the ones we needed. I don't even care about none of that because, look, this is why I'm looking at it. There was no good communication from the very beginning, right? When you got a GM that's like, all right, if you would have proved that the defense can hold up against the Eagles, I don't think we would have made that move. I don't think we would have made that move. But since the defense fell apart and gave up 38 points in the NFC Championship game, I think Rick Spielman was like, yo, I got to get me a quarterback that can be better because Case Keenum looked like a scrub that game. Like, he had a good season. He made clutch throws and all that in the playoffs to get to the NFC Championship game. But when it counted the most, he wasn't that dude, right? So Rick Spielman, I understand where his thinking process is, but you picked the wrong guy, though. And then on top of that, once you got to be on the same page with your coach because at the end of the day, Rick Spielman, if your coach doesn't want a certain player, sometimes you can't override him because you got the power to be like, yo, I'm going to get him anyway. Because then how is that relationship going to be good between Kirk and the coach? I'm pretty sure, and there was other players that came out, I think Terrence Newman came out, that it was just like walking on eggshells, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a fun locker room. It wasn't fun to play for the Vikings because Zimmer ran the dang on team like we was in basic training or something. You can't talk, you can't smile, you can't have fun. If you smile or laugh, do 100 push-ups. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, that's probably how these players were, you know what I mean? It's a sport. You're supposed to have fun. You take it serious, but you're supposed to have fun. But when you have your coach say he doesn't want a certain player and you get him anyway, and it takes a lot of the money, and it takes a lot from what he established on that defensive side of the ball, even though he got destroyed in that. I keep bringing it up because Mike Zimmer has to realize, Rick Spielman was like, we have everything. We just need that one piece. That missing piece was supposed to be Kirk Cousins. But he was wrong. He striked out. But I understand both ways. But you have to have a good relationship between the coach and the quarterback. There's only one, tandem when it comes to coach and quarterback that they didn't have the best relationship, but they respected each other to a certain extent. And they won a lot of Super Bowls. That was Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. I don't know for a fact, but I don't think their relationship was the best, but they got the job done. I can only imagine what Zimmer was like when it came to Kirk Cousins. When they seen each other in the hallway, This is Kirk Cousins. Y'all. I'm gonna pretend I'm Kirk. What's up, Zim? Zim just walks right past him. Just walks right past him and says, I don't got nothing to say to you, man. You messed my defense up, man. We paying you all this money and you ain't clutched, man. That's probably what Zimmer was thinking, bro. I'm just keeping it real. But Zimmer has to understand both ways. And then I'm hearing some other quotes that Zimmer is saying that he wanted to come back to prove that he still got it. You know what I mean? To prove people wrong because that left a bad taste in his mouth. Like, to get fired like that and then people looking at you and you got players coming out saying that you this and that. He's like, I'm going to prove all y'all wrong and we're going to see. Like I said before, earlier in the video, Cowboys defense better be on point, Zimmer. And if y'all happen to make the playoffs, which I don't think y'all going to make the playoffs because I think the team is overrated. I think Dak Prescott is Kirk Cousins 2.0. I just think they're the same quarterback. And yes, they have talented players on both sides of the ball. Definitely do. But when it counts the most, guess what's going to happen? That's just my opinion. Y'all leave in the comments below. Let me know how you feel about Zimmer and all the craziness. And, dang, it's funny, though. Funny. I'm out.